quit my job and
You quit
in the
your
UK,
job.
yes, and then gave it up and came down here.
From what you've seen in the UK and what you've seen in Africa, what would you say is the thing that Africa is not getting right?
Fantastic weather, untapped resources, lovely people. It's a place that I would encourage almost everyone to come and invest.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Thrive in Africa podcast on Eqay Inspire YouTube channel. Today, I'm with an amazing woman. I'll call her an angel because she built a heaven on earth, and that is where we are right now. We want to get into her life and the backstory behind this beautiful place. So join me as we go right into the interview. All right, madam. Yeah, welcome to Eqay Inspire YouTube channel.
Thank you.
It's a great pleasure to have you. Kindly give us just a brief introduction of yourself for our viewers. Yeah.
My name is Dr. Lauretta Dagogo. I'm married to an amazing gentleman who is also a doctor, but he's a medic.
Okay.
I'm a doctor of philosophy,
Oh,
and
wow. That's
we
inspiring.
yes, we got married in the UK and we've lived there for most of our lives and raised our children there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I did all my education in the UK as well. Having raised children there, we thought it was important to actually make them aware of where their roots are,
Okay.
and which is in Africa,
Okay.
primarily in Nigeria.
Okay.
But my mom is also partly Ghanaian. So we decided that it would be a good idea to have like a place in the sun where we can come and feel the beauty of Africa
Wow.
and inspire our children to look to their roots.
Okay.
That's when we acquired this place. It was a complete bush. There was
Interesting.
nothing here.
Interesting.
And we decided to have three chalets for the children and then our main house.
Okay.
My husband is a tennis addict, so when we built the main house, the next thing was the tennis court.
Okay.
Before the chalets, and
Wow.
it was quite an inspiring project to
Mm.
work on. And personally, we had no experience whatsoever in building or anything, so we just said God should guide us
Oh, wow.
to do it.
Wow.
And once we built the three chalets, we built our house, the tennis court and the three chalets, we decided to come, periodically to Ghana and spend some time there, especially to run away from the winters in the UK.
Mm.
And friends and families came to us and said, why would you be so selfish to enjoy this all by yourself?
Right.
Why don't you share with people and make
Right.
it into
Right.
a
Right.
beach
Right.
resort? And my husband said, oh, no, 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 we're not in that field. I'm a medical doctor. My wife is a social worker.
Okay.
So there is no way we can do that. And I said to him, honey, I think we can
Okay.
because we've traveled a bit and we've enjoyed holidays and hotels and resorts and all that. So the things we like when we go to those places,
Mm.
the things we enjoyed, if we give that back to people, they might
Mm.
like it as well. And he said, are you sure? I said, definitely.
Wow.
So I quit my job and
You
in
quit
the
your
UK,
job.
yes, and then gave it up and came down here while my husband worked and sent me money. That's how we started building this place.
Oh, wow.
That's how this place was born.
Interesting. That's a very beautiful story. How did the name Solent come about?
Well, we we live in Southampton, which is
Okay.
in Hampshire area of UK,
Okay.
and we have a river there called River Solent.
Oh,
So almost everything there is called after Solent.
okay.
We have Solent University there, Solent this,
Oh,
Solent that. So we felt that to honor where we worked hard to get the money to build this lovely place, we should also give that tribute by naming it Solent Villas Resort.
wow, beautiful. So you tell me, you came here and you was the one who saw everything through for it to be built.
Well, my husband came first.
Okay.
He came with a friend who is also half Nigerian, half Ghanaian, and went to Apam.
Okay.
Apam had Port Harcourt House, which Port Harcourt is where we come from, the capital of our state.
Oh,
It had Kaduna House. So we felt at home. And because before now, we were looking elsewhere like France, Seychelles, Egypt, South Africa, where to build this place in the sun.
oh,
So he said, why not Ghana?
okay.
We never thought about Ghana. And some of my friends say it's my mother's spirits that made us come here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's how we came. And he came first. And then when he acquired the place, he now brought us. Initially, it was quite scary because how do you turn a forest into what you want? It's quite challenging. There was no electricity here, there was no
Oh.
water. The electricity board and electricity water company said it couldn't justify bringing those facilities here because there's no population. So we had to do everything ourselves.
Wow.
Laying the pipes, the pillars for electricity, the wires, everything. By the time we finished that, we ran out of money, so we had to go and get some money to come and
Oh
start the
wow.
building. Yeah.
This was how long ago?
Almost 15 years ago.
Oh wow.
But the resort was born with COVID.
Oh,
It was unbelievable. As soon as we registered the business, COVID came.
interesting.
So we were sort of birthed together with COVID.
Mm.
And at that point, I was actually stuck here. When the travels were banned, I
Yeah.
couldn't return to the UK. But people said to me it was a good place to get stuck.
Nice.
I even tried to get on the chartered flights to go back, and it didn't work for me. So I just said, "Oh Lord, you have to keep me yourself. You gave us this place, and now I'm separated from my family and all that. But thank God for WhatsApp. Thank God for video calls.
Yeah.
So we survived it, and after that, we were reunited again."
Wow. I've heard stories of a lot of people who, try to build projects from outside Africa. So they are outside Africa, they want to build projects here, and then they run into a lot of challenges. Sometimes it doesn't get done. Sometimes they get duped by people who cannot be trusted. How did you navigate all these challenges to make sure that the projects came into fruition?
It's just a tenacity to succeed.
Mm.
A lot of us Africans, we have our ways of doing things. So if you tell them to do things this way, that's not how we do it here. And as you said, some people, so a few people who are not trustworthy run away with money and all that. But when you are actually focused and you want to do something, I personally don't like giving up. I faced a lot of challenges when I was doing my Ph.D. Illness, admissions to hospital, and all that. But once I put my mind to something, I don't give up. In fact, my supervisor nicknamed me a chronic optimist. So
Chronic
it's that spirit
optimist.
of not giving up. So
Wow.
we persevered and persevered and persevered. We were also blessed with a lot of nice people, good people who supported us to help us. Good workers. You have everything. You have bad and good. But you have to just stick to the good and persevere and do it.
Wow. So what would you say has been the most fulfilling part of having this place built?
You're not going to believe my answer here.
Okay.
The most fulfilling part is the fruit, the trees I planted. The first time I harvested coconuts, I was over the moon. I
Oh
couldn't
wow.
believe I planted it.
Wow.
And it's fruited. The pawpaws, the coconuts, orange. You buy all these things from the market, but you don't know what goes into it. The weeding, the planting, the watering, the nurturing. So getting those fruits, the mangoes. My God, I planted this.
Wow.
That was an unbelievable feeling I
Wow.
got. It was like on a high.
Wow.
Very, very happy.
Wow. I see.
Yeah.
And I know we've already talked about some challenges, but if you could pinpoint one that was like the biggest hurdle you had to cross to build this place, what would it be?
Workers running away.
Running away.
Because we have come from a trust society whereby someone comes and they're building for you or they're doing something. Oh, we don't have the money, give us the money and then we'll do it. We need the money to go and buy the materials, and you give them the money and then they run away.
Oh wow. Wow.
So I had to ask my husband to send me another money, and then this time around I'm not giving all anymore. Or I might have to go with you to go and buy those things so that we know, you're going to use them for that. And also, looking out for people who know people who can recommend those people. Although sometimes it does fail as well. But when you try and build a good relationship with some of the workers, it does work.
Okay.
I suppose that's why you're seeing what you're seeing now.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So I also know some people might be watching us from outside Africa who may want to or be contemplating building some or making some investments in Africa. From your experience, what would be like the best advice you can give to such a person on how to proceed?
Go for it. Don't be dissuaded because of a few bad eggs. It's very important. We have a beautiful continent. The weather is absolutely fantastic. As you can see, the ocean is here. We have fresh fish. All the seafood is fresh and nice. The environment is beautiful. beautiful. You have the fruits I'm talking about. They're all natural. You don't have to import them. They're just at your doorstep. Everything is organic.
Yeah.
So the soil is rich, and the people are nice. They're the few people I've talked about, they're very few, but
Okay.
all other people are very hospitable
Okay.
and welcoming, and that's fantastic.
Wow, amazing. Okay, so I'd like us to also talk a bit about your family because you have a very inspiring family. I mean, both you and your husband are doctors and you have children, and you said you have an amazing husband. And I'm sure you've been married for quite a while.
Yes.
How long, if
Oh God. I don't want people to guess my age.
Okay.
For
All right.
quite a long time.
Okay. So, what would you say has been some of the principles that held you two together? Because we hear so many stories of couples who, I mean, they can't even last 1 year in marriage and all. What is your secret?
I think it's about loving somebody unconditionally. There is no perfect marriage. You have to have the spirit of forgiveness and the spirit of give and take, loyalty to your spouse or partner. I think just the preparedness to forge the relationship ahead, enjoy the good things, forgive the bad things,
Wow.
and move on
That's
together.
simple. It sounds very simple. Interesting, because sometimes the fear is that how far is too far? Like how much should you still forgive, and keep forgiving? I think that's from the stories I hear. That's like some people draw the boundaries that no, this one it has passed the point of forgiveness. It's a red flag or something. So how far is too far?
I think I understand people who say that, but for me, there is no boundary.
Wow.
Yes, because if you look at it, Christ died for us while we were yet sinners as a Christian. And he said we should forgive others as we would want him to forgive us. So there's nothing my husband can do that I will not forgive him. It's not a license for you to do that service.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. And how about raising kids too? What are some of the principles that have guided that process as well?
I think one of the key areas my husband and I have never disagreed is about our children. They mean a lot to us. We have 4 children, two boys and 2 girls.
Okay.
And we always agree on how to support them, how to raise them. I think the secret is not challenging your husband or your wife in front of your children. Even if you don't agree what the person is saying, you don't have to say anything at that time because otherwise you cause friction and disrespect for one of the parents. You should rather say it behind the scenes.
Okay.
And know that all of you want the best for the children.
Wow. Also, you spent a considerable amount of time in the UK, and I believe you've spent some considerable amount of time in Africa as well. So
More in the UK than in Africa.
okay. But in the UK, systems work, right? I experience all these power outages and maybe bad roads and all, as often as you experience in Africa. What would you say is the thing that Africa is not getting right? That's maybe perhaps.
I'm glad you use the word often.
Okay.
Because there are parts of the UK where occasionally there's outage.
Okay.
Like one of my daughters live in a village in the UK, and they do have outage,
Oh,
power
really?
outage, yes,
Interesting.
periodically.
Okay.
But what happens is that they can put them in hotels and all that. It's a village, it's a rural area.
Oh.
So they have had a few experiences of that, but it's not common.
Okay.
But in Africa, we have a lot of challenges. I'm not sure what their challenges are.
Okay.
There's an area that we need to improve on. So it's very difficult to operate a business like this without a generator because you're not even informed when it's going to happen, and you might not get the reinstatement straight away. So it's important that you have that backup.
Okay.
But don't be put off by that, whoever wants to come and invest, because you can have a generator that can help you. And sometimes there's some level of consistency for a while. So I hope that progressively it will be better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I want to know if maybe you were made the president of Ghana for 4 years. What do you think, from what you've seen in the UK and what you've seen in Africa, what do you think are the key things you would focus on fixing?
I think the government is already doing that. They are working on the roads. I can see that
Okay.
dual roads are being constructed.
Okay.
They're working on electricity. I think the main thing, actually, for me personally, I may be wrong, is probably we're not financially buoyant to actually carry out all the things that they do in the UK. Some people don't pay their taxes here. In the UK, if you pay, you are definitely going to pay your taxes, and you see that they use it for all the amenities that are necessary and essential for people to use.
Okay.
So if we can be committed to pay our taxes and we elect the leaders we trust that will actually put the people first, we should be able to attain. We are actually in a better position because we have good weather. You don't have snow and all those things that can prevent you from driving on the road and all that. So yeah, 24 hours, we've got beautiful weather. So we should be able to, and I don't actually believe it's just the government, it's us.
Okay.
We should contribute our own bit. We at our individual levels, what are we doing to help our society? We need to contribute rather than just looking up to government.
Right.
And so when I see young people who are enterprising, I really, really admire them and tell them that they're on the right path.
Right. I was going to come to that. That I mean, on the populace's level or the level of the individual people, what differences you notice in between UK and Africa that you think we should learn and improve on? Because it's like people travel from here to abroad, and then all of a sudden they have this tenacity. They're able to work 2, 3 jobs. They become more hardworking than they were back in Africa. So I mean, I wanted to ask of that, maybe some of those differences and what you think we should adopt here to help us.
I think, thank you very much,
Thank you.
Justice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank
Thank you, Justice. Yeah. I think that the main difference I see
you.
is an implementation
All right.
of the law.
Okay.
In Africa, in the UK and other Western societies, the what we call the man no man factor is not as evident.
Man, no man.
Yeah, in Africa, if you have a high position or you're related to somebody, you might think that you can get away with things. Are you with me? Somebody can ring somebody and say, "Oh, please let them go" or whatever. But in the West, it's not like that. The law is operational. We all know that Trump is already in court at the moment. So, and nobody's above the law, so that's how it should be here as well. But because we have the extended family system and we have that compassion for ourselves in Africa, we tend to rely on the fact of forgiveness to say, "Oh, please forgive him. It's his first time." Or, I mean, that's also in the courts in the UK, whereby
Okay.
first offenders are treated more leniently than persistent offenders. But I think in Africa, we tend to think that because we know somebody who can get away with things, and we haven't taken stock and believe in and being stakeholders in the fact that we need to do these things in society. I mean, people don't sort of believe that that should be the emphasis. You know what I mean? Why should I wake up early in the morning? Why should I go to work on time? I was only late for 30 minutes and telling me off. Don't they know that the traffic is a problem? Do you get the point I'm thinking? But I think the stage of our development is such that we are more liberal, than the people in the West who know that there's no one they can go to if they get it wrong. They'll be penalized by the law. So here, the law is more flexible, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I may be wrong.
Yeah,
Other people
yeah,
may have
yeah,
a different experience.
Yeah. Okay. Right. All right. So before we wrap up, I just want to say a very big thank you to you. First of all, for building this place, because it's so beautiful. It's home away from home, and I mean, I see a lot of beautiful spaces, well designed and all. Other people would have probably squeezed buildings into every area, but you took the time to plan it well. And I think it's also because you built it with the initial intention of it being a home, right? And then it has grown into a bigger home for other people to also share. So
It was prayerfully done, and I think the major thanks should be to my husband who labored and sponsored and directed what has been achieved here.
Wow, beautiful.
Our children also had input when they come and say, "Oh, this is good," or "You have to improve on this area," and all that. Yeah.
Okay. So thanks to the family.
Yes, absolutely, especially the husband. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So before we leave, any final words for my viewers, both from Africa and outside Africa, who may be watching us now?
Africa is our motherland. Some people believe it's where life started. We are so blessed and gifted to have fantastic weather, lovely people. It's a place that I would encourage almost everyone to come and invest. There's a lot of untapped resources that we can use and utilize. Don't stay away. We can make it work. Thank you very much.
Wow, awesome. So that has been it. I hope you had a great time. I know you did because I had a great time too. So until I see you again in our next video, take care and bye bye for now.
Bye bye. Lovely coconuts. Join us.
Yeah, you're invited.